friends, this episode. I really enjoyed sitting down with Virgílio. I feel really honored that we found the time to sit down and talk about a topic that inspires us both so much. So let me first introduce Virgílio, and then I'll share a little bit more about what we spoke about, and then we'll get into the episode. So Virgílio's greatest purpose in everything that he does is really supporting awakening the essence in people. And he has been doing this since 2006. And he really is all about creating spaces where people can feel safe to discover their own potential, express their own being, and raise their vibration and kind of like take that home and support their communities with that. And he uses different knowledges and tools in his retreats, in his gatherings, in his sessions. He focuses on shamanism, psychology, Sufism, neuroscience, music, dance, voice, tantra, active meditation, and other knowledge in order to awaken the true essence of each and every one of the participants in his workshops and gatherings. And since 2009, he has led more than 130 retreats and workshops, mainly in Portugal, but also in Brazil, in India, and the Czech Republic. At the moment, he facilitates purpose and vocation retreats and workshops. And since 2010, he has been offering ecstatic dance Portugal, mainly in Lisbon and the Habitat, but also internationally. And since 2014, he has been offering mantras and the healing voice awakening. And since 2016, he has been offering ritualized retreats and bigger gatherings. And he lives in the Habitat Mountains in Portugal in a windmill house where he can be in contact with the abundant nature, where he finds all the energy and magic to create these spaces to awaken the essence within. So Virgílio and we met here in Portugal, and I've been so honored to be able to join his facilitated gatherings and dances, because the way that he facilitates the room and the way that he makes people feel safe is unparalleled. I highly recommend, if you're ever in Portugal, ever in the ability to join a gathering with him, please do it. And so we really sat down to talk about, what it means to awaken this essence, and also where ecstatic dance comes from, because in a lot of spaces, people are not really aware and are not honoring the origins. And I think where he and I really connected was about honoring these origins of ecstatic dance. I'm not going to share about that. You have to listen to the podcast for that. And so we just had a beautiful heart-opening conversation about how we can support people to awaken their truest essence. And I hope you really enjoy the episode. And I also would love for you to join an ecstatic dance gathering if you are able to do so. There is ecstatic dance gatherings all over the world in all major cities for sure. And if you do, please let us know how it was for you. And for now, enjoy listening to this episode. You're listening to the podcast of Iris Josephina. If you're passionate about exploring the menstrual cycle, cyclical living, body wisdom, personal growth, spirituality, and running a business in alignment with your natural cycles, you're in the right place. I'm Iris. I'm an entrepreneur, functional hormone specialist, trainer, and coach, and I'm on a mission to share insights, fun facts, and inspiration I discover along the way as I run my business and walk my own path on Earth. Here, you'll hear my personal stories, guest interviews, and vulnerable shares from clients and students. Most people know me from Instagram, where you can find me under @CycleSeeds, or they have been a coaching client or student in one of my courses. I'm so grateful you're here. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome, Virgílio, to the Planting Seeds podcast.
Hello. Thank you so much for this invitation.
So good to have you, and I'm really excited to be talking about this beautiful topic. So you are a DJ and a musician, and you hold incredible space for people during ecstatic dances and gatherings and circles. And to start, can you maybe share your story with us, like how you got into this field and why you are so passionate about it?
Okay, so yeah, saying that I am a DJ, I don't feel so much. I feel more like I'm a facilitator. No, it's also interesting because I'm a facilitator that came and entered in this world of music and DJing and creating. But my base, it's more facilitation. And there's a moment in 2009, I was running an advertising agency. This was my work. And in 2009, I participated in a retreat that changed my life. Like the typical and classic story, but there's always a moment of the switch, the life changing. And this was totally for me. It was like a 10 days retreat, training with different kind of content, but like psychology, coaching, NLP, shamanism, meditation, Osho. Wow, was so much things in 10 days. And then I came from there like, wow, I was like, I don't know, I feel like, I think was the first time I feel the infinite, that I am infinite, with so much energy. And one of the insights for me was that I love to create strategies, planning, creativity. And then I felt that, wow, I was really a lot in the mind and using the elements of the shamanic, like I was very in the air, fire, always very fire, air. And as a good using a lot of the brain, I was like, okay, so I need to find a new strategy. And then I start to enter in this idea of like, I want to integrate water and the earth element in me. So what can I do? And then I come to dance, like, okay, this is perfect because I will go to the body and I will also connect more with my emotions and flow, opening the space of flowing energy. And then I start to explore a lot of different kind of dances. Biodanza was the first. And then contact dance. And then I enter in a company of dancing. They were really amazing with sessions, regular sessions. They connect Qigong with dance. Yeah, so on. And also I discover ecstatic dance. And then that moment I was like, wow, ecstatic dance, it's really my thing, because dancing in a very free way without nobody guiding me, and I just dance and my body will just show what needs to show, was a big switch also for me in my life. So I come to these worlds because I need, it's my therapy. And as Osho say, meditation start with your body. And I really like this idea, and he brought a lot of the active meditations, like dancing and shaking and breathing to the Western world. So for me, ecstatic dance and the way I came here, I really need this space. And then I start as already a facilitator, because I was facilitating different kind of retreats, more with the purpose and vocation. I was helping a lot of people do a transition from their professional, the moment they are not happy and they want to go to other thing more meaningful. So I was a lot of years working with this. And then in that moment, I was like, okay, I will facilitate one ecstatic dance. Why not? And then starts my journey here. And I learn how to do transitions with music, to produce as well. But again, I feel like in this world of ecstatic dance, people come or from the DJ scene or come from the personal human development scene as a facilitator, And I'm more a facilitator, not saying that I cannot DJ good or do transitions, but I feel technically I'm not like, this is not like my thing. If someone invites me, that a lot of people invite me to do DJ set for a party, even if it's a conscious party that there's no alcohol or drugs, I don't feel to do, because I really like facilitate. It's not, even if they are paying me a lot of money, or I just say, sorry, but it's not my thing. What I really love is to facilitate and create that space for people to be themselves.
Yeah, beautiful. And I really feel that you're a really good facilitator. You know how to hold the space and make sure that it's safe. for people. I think that's very important if you're like holding big groups. And I'm sure that, you know, there's people listening and they're listening to us and maybe they're thinking like, oh, ecstatic dance, what is this? Could you maybe explain a little bit what that is? And I also feel that when you start the journeys, you always also take like a little bit of the history. And with Gabrielle Roth, could you share a little bit about what is ecstatic dance? What is the history?
Of course, yeah. This is always in my script for every opening of the circles in ecstatic dance, so it's very easy. So ecstatic dance in this new form, because ecstatic dance, we could come also more for the history. It's like all the tribes were dancing in an ecstatic way, like entering in trance with their movement. It's a way for us to connect with the divine, to connect with the earth. So for sure, it comes from here, but in contemporary more concept of this ecstatic dance comes from Gabrielle Roth, that is inspired. It's ecstatic dance is inspired by the work of Gabrielle Roth, that in the 70s she understands that she was a dancer and a choreographer, and in the 70s she understands that dancing was much more than showing a performance or like going to stage and dance. And she understands, wow, dance can really be therapeutical, you know, like can really be healing. Because as she brought that concept in the 70s, and also now for us it's very normal, this concept that we have a lot of tensions, a lot of things that we feel that are already solved in our minds, and maybe they are in our minds, like, okay, these tensions of the week working, and now, okay, but now everything will flow, will be good, or a relation that didn't work well, and we are like in a process of grief or whatever it comes. But normally in the mind, we try to solve the things, but maybe, and normally, this tension is still present in our bodies. And they are living in our bodies. It can be a tension that is in your shoulder. It's a tension maybe that is in your leg. And this comes also for the somatic work that a lot of people also connected now. So what Gabrielle Roth brings is this idea, if we move our bodies in the way that we never did before, and moving all the parts of our body when we are dancing, we start to dissolve these tensions. And maybe will come emotions, and emotions are all kind of emotional. You can start really laugh a lot because you just had a tension that is totally dissolved, and you're like, wow, you feel so, I don't know what's happening. Or maybe you are crying because you feel in that moment to release this emotion. So ecstatic dance comes from this work, inspired by this work of Gabrielle Roth. In the end was some students of Gabrielle Roth that create this. And Gabrielle Roth was doing, as a lot of people, other teachers now doing follower work, doing her 5 rhythms, sweat your prayers, that it's other ways of ecstatic dance, but it's guided. Again, it's with a guidance. And ecstatic dance was created with idea, no guidance at all. 2 hours dancing, and that passed by 7 stages of a wave, as we call a wave. It's a set, a musical set that is in a form of a wave. Why? Because we start very, very slowly with no beat, connecting with ourselves, maybe with an intention. And then the music will start going up and up in the beats, in the rhythms, different colors of music, different styles. And then we go up, 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 up until we go to a really big beat, a fast beat. Can be trance music, can be techno, high techno like speed, can be whatever. It comes also for people to release, and then starts going down and down, passing again with different kind of emotions until we come to a space of totally stillness, peace, calm. And this is when the healing happens. It's these 2 hours of a wave with different kind of stage. And in the end, we are just like in silence and with a this sense of void or connection with something higher that is just people that really do it know it. No, it's like we need to try to understand. So in the end, ecstatic dance, I could say that is this like the contemporary ecstatic dance. Of course, there's always before this wave, normally there's a warm up for people to connect. And in this moment, there's some guidance, like for us to connect with our body or maybe with the group. And then there's these 2 hours of no guidance, no voiceover, just music and yourself expressing whatever you feel dancing, like in the way you want to dance. Of course, in my way, each one brings their own topics. I always bring this idea of for the warriors or people that really like the party, that when comes the musics that are more calm or more feminine, for us to express this in our body. So also it's an invitation for us to express our feminine, our moon movements. How can you dance with this melody, you know? And also for the others that really just want to be more in the shanty kind of music and more relaxed, and they just really want the end of the wave. Also this invitation of like, when starts the big beat, just release. If you don't like this kind of music, just jump and release all the chaos, also the rage that is inside, or whatever you need to bring on. And this is really the way, if we are expressing all the sides of ourselves, now, of course, after this, we will feel very aligned because we open all the gates. And then, yeah, of course, there's also some guidelines, I would say. It's also important. One is like, people don't talk in the dance floor. This is something amazing and very important, because if we start talking, we will lose the journey. No, it's like, hi, how are you? So, oh, yes, oh, the work. And okay, you already lost. You are in the mind again. The second is like, we don't use any kind of alcohol, drugs, any kind of things, external medicines. We just use our breathe and movement and dance, and we will reach a higher state just with that. The third is about, we are dancing with our bare feet. We don't use shoes. The fourth is, we don't use mobile phones. We don't take pictures, not even do the stories for Instagram. It's like totally present in the moment. And the last one is about interaction. Just like always, have this active listening and understanding if the other person wants to dance with you or not like entering in the space of the other, like in a very hard way. Yeah, and basically is that. It's like, it's a big experience, I would say. In the beginning, also when I was as a participant, was like, wow, you are used to it, or some people, or our generation, or also the new generations go to the disco, like drinking alcohol. So we are not really dancing there. No, there are some people that dance, but it's not so normal. We are just looking and talking. It's more a get together, social, and then there's the music in background. And here it's a totally opposite experience, and that's why a lot of people that also are or were very addicted to the nights and to the clubs, when they come here to ecstatic dance, they were like, wow. And it's like also friends of mine, and they're like, wow, I never felt this. Like, wow, I'm not drinking anything, and I'm like so high, and my energy is like, it's crazy. Also for DJs, I also have this feedback when I was organizing Ecstatic Dance Lisbon, and we were inviting other DJs, always different DJs, and then like DJs that are really amazing DJs from clubs, like good clubs in Lisbon and also in Europe. And in the end, they were almost crying in a very emotion way, but very blessed, because they were like, wow, I never saw people dancing my music. One. And second, there's no people coming to me like, oh, can you put that music? And like totally drunk, that. No, people are really there. They are present. in the end, they will hug the DJ, like, oh, thank you so much, man. Wow, it was such a journey. And for them that are from this world of the club, that is can be tough, like a lot of drugs, alcohol, this a big tension energetically, dance energy. And for them was like, wow. So a lot of them also switch and they start to do this. It's very interesting to see.
I can imagine that. And also the reward that you get as the facilitator of the music, when you get this feedback of your people, like it makes you feel so rooted and blessed and grateful. Totally. I can imagine it's very different. Like I used to be that way. I used to be this girl going to like clubs and dancing in the clubs. And as a woman, obviously, when you go to a club and you want to dance, you always get attention that you actually don't want. You just want to dance. And that's what I really love about ecstatic dance. It was my first experience where I could just express the way that I want to express without people coming to me or touching me or coming too close. And it's just a very respectful space. And it was the first time that I experienced that. And I knew in the back of my mind somewhere, this must exist somewhere on the planet, but I just didn't find it yet. And yeah, I found it in ecstatic dance, and it's very liberating, especially I think from a more like feminist perspective, like first also for women's liberation and liberation of all, like coming together to dance, just to dance and to all feel in the same frequency. So we all are in an energy of love. That is so beautiful for me. And it's created every time. During every ecstatic dance, we are like harmonizing our energy. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Totally. I agree. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And you spoke about it a little bit, like what it can bring people, how we can experience ecstatic dance. And I wanted to ask you, like, are there any more things that this can bring people? Like, okay, the experience itself is a nice experience during these 2 hours, but obviously it can trickle out in people's lives. Like, could you speak to that for people who are like trying to understand, like, okay, what can this bring me?
Yeah. So first, I would say also for us to understand how we work, like in this moment, I would say that the major part of people are very in the brain. We come from like a era, age of like, okay, we need to work, we need to be fast with our minds, we need to be very intelligent, smart, and so the mind, and it's the most important, and it's a fact. The last years, it's all about this. And I would say that this kind of work, and not just this one, I will also bring other topics here, but it's like, how can I re-educate my system, and especially my brain, that the brain, it's a part of my system. It's not the system. No, and this is, I think it's very important. There's a lot of people, and maybe people that are listening to this now, they feel sometimes headaches, and tired. And the tired, it's not about the body. Normally, the tired comes from the mind, because we had a lot of meetings, we are with a lot of tasks, we need to do this and that. Our brain, it's like, oh, I need to send the email, oh, I forgot this, oh, I need to... It's like, it's so much activity, so much energy, that we need to find ways to empty our mind. And how can we empty our mind? Maybe it can be a very panic zone for a person that is not used to meditate. Meditation, it's a way. It's true, it's a big tool. But the passive meditation, for some people, will be like, okay, I will sit down and I will be there, and there's so much thoughts. And then maybe after 5 minutes, you are like saying, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. I need to send the email. I need to, So I would say that the active meditations are really important for us to connect with a way of, again, re-education of our system. And the movement and the dance is for sure one of them. So when we find this, and using the ecstatic dance or other tools they were planned. And the ecstatic dance, if people do also the wave, because I think it's very important, the wave, not like starting just with the beat and end with the beat. This will not be the same thing. It's as this beginning and the end with different kind of musics that slow down our system, we come to a space of meditation. After the ecstatic dance, I don't need to say like, now we will be in a silence for a moment, because people cannot even speak, and your mind is so slow in a good way. You forget totally about the emails and all your tensions and the things that you need to do, and like, oh, I have laundry to put out or whatever. It will not. This will not. It's not in your mind anymore, because you are totally connected with the moment there. So I would say, for people that never did, I would say, and if you feel also that you are using your mind too much and you need to come to the body, I would say definitely this is something that you could try. But as also I did, I tried different kinds. I try different kind of dances. I try different kind of ways for me to connect more with the present and with myself. So, of course, in this moment, I would say it's easier, and also it's the way we were educated. Like, how can you slow down your brain? Normally people, what they think, okay, I will have a glass of wine. Yeah, I will drink a beer. It is, but this is the major part of people. It is. Because you just push a button, and we are very used to push a button for everything. If I'm not feeling good with my throat, I feel a little bit, okay, I will push a button, I will take a pill. Yeah. So we are still very here in the like, push the button. I have this problem, push the button. You don't sit with what you have or what you need. You don't put an effort to discover different things that are much more healthier to you and can really shift your being. So it's not like something very shanty or like, oh, ecstatic dance, I don't know, I'm afraid, and people are hugging. No. Ecstatic dance, you can be yourself. You hug if you want. There's a lot of people don't hug nobody. It's okay. They're coming to dance. So it's not like, I don't feel there is a panic zone there. Of course, there will be some discomforts in some moments in the beginning, especially. You are dancing. There's a lot of people dancing as well. But in the end, can be a very individual thing, or can be also a collective thing. You choose. So this is something that also I feel that is easier for every kind of people to try it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I also have seen that when people come for the first time and they have never in their lives experienced anything like that, they've never been to a yoga class, they've never been to a dance class, it can be a little bit intimidating, because what you see is all these people who are so free in their bodies and you're not. And then you're standing there and you're like, my God, like, these people are also free. Like, how do I access that? How do I come there in my own body? I remember with some friends, I took them to ecstatic dance in the Netherlands, and they are like in the corporate world. They are in their mind, behind their computers, in a suit. And they were really like, oh no, we're not going to dance. We're just going to stand here and look at people. I'm like, but it's really okay to dance. Like, you don't have to like stand, because they were bringing their like cafe and club mindset to the ecstatic dance. But then obviously it was awkward for them to be standing on the sideline looking at other people, because nobody is doing that. So it was a very sweet experience. But now they're going all the time. They're completely like switched, and they felt like for the first time in their lives, like, wow, I can really come to my body, and I don't need alcohol or cigarettes, or like you explained. So I think it's really an underestimated healing modality of our time. And I remember when I was living in Malta, I was organizing ecstatic dances with my friend Tom. and his neighbor was a psychologist, and she was like wildly obsessed with his stories. And she said, can I come to observe and see what happens to people? And she came like as an observant psychologist in our space to come. And I told her, like, okay, you can't just sit on the side, but you really have to be a participant observer, like an anthropologist. You have to be participating, but as you dance and participate, you can observe, obviously. And she was so, like, so inspired and so beautiful. And she started bringing her clients to the ecstatic dance. She recommended some of her psychology clients because she felt like, okay, I can talk to these people, but these people need to do something with their bodies. So she first wanted to observe the space and how it is, whether it's like a safe space for her clients. And then she started to bring her clients to the dance, and it was incredible. And she said, these clients made so much more progress than the people who didn't come. So it's such a beautiful, such a beautiful modality. And I always feel like when more people in society would come to ecstatic dance, society would look very different. If more people would come. And also, if we would bring children to these kinds of spaces from very young age. Have you ever experienced that people like bring their children and what that does? I mean, I've seen it as well in your space.
Yeah, for sure. First, I totally agree with what you said about the children. Totally. The children, what they bring to the space, it's like they don't have this conditioning that we have. So they are free, dancing, playing. So there's this energy. I think normally can open more the group okay, why not to explore? Sometimes the children will also like this kind of adults chasing the children, like laughing, oh, I'm gonna get you, we don't talk there, but there's this energy, and just this can open something, and other people also do the same, and then it's like I would say that children can bring a lot, but also bringing this message to adults, and especially the adults that are more in their masculine energy, just saying man, I would say that I understand that a lot of people are more like pragmatic in like, okay, no, I choose a sport, I will do whatever, like a sport that I feel more like, okay, a martial art or a surf, and for sure each one needs to find their own hobbies. If it's nurturing yourself, amazing, When bringing a comparison, it's like, I would say this kind of work, ecstatic dance or similars, it's like, it's a sport. You will for sure burn some fats and calories, because you are dancing a lot. You have like such a different energy. You will express your young energy, your masculine, for sure, if you want, and like with music, very like you are jumping and you're like wow. And also what I think it's the big add, it's that you also can live and it can experience more something connected with your heart, with your feminine and with your calm. I think this is the big difference. That's why I think it's so complete, and the way it was created. Again, if the wave follow these 7 stages, if the music follow this, it's very complete, So there's these words that I really love, and I always bring also to my retreats. It's from the book. It's in the book of Gabrielle Roth, The Maps of Ecstasy. That is a book that I think all people should read. And there's a part that say like in many shamanic societies or tribal societies, if you come to a medicine man, woman, or a shaman, the doctor of that tribe, if you come there and saying like, wow, I'm not feeling so good, my energy, or I feel like kind of depressed or without energy, or I'm also with problems, physical problems, and I need to heal. This person would always do this question. First is, when you stop dance? When did you stop dancing? Second, when did you stop singing? Third, when did you stop to listen to the stories? And fourth, when you stop to rely in the sweet territory of silence. And this is amazing. And I feel this is also very the base of the shamanic healers. And in the end, the shamanic, just to explain, it's like people that are very connected with the earth and with the elements. That's it. They don't connect with the god. The god is earth, the sun, the wind, and the water, the four elements. And they bring this. And for me, this is like very clear for me as well. Because when I dance, when I sing, or when I receive a story that I'm like, wow, I feel very enchanted with this story and can inspire me so much, this is pure healing, because it will switch your energy. And the same with silence. We are also with so much noise around us, and also our brain, again, it's always like dee, 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 dee. So coming to spaces, to silence, it's like, wow, like, there's something, your system, this is explained scientifically as well, but it's like your system just comes to a calm state, comes calm, like, this is very important in the life that we are living right now, so fast, especially in the cities or around the cities. Everything is very fast. So for me, these four medicines are really are one of my guides, even also for the retreats I create. I always think about this. And as you know as well, the singing and like this kind of mantras or medicine songs, like repeating the voice, it's also for me a way amazing. Another active meditation that's in the end, I would say that I connect much faster with the singing. If I start singing like 5 minutes, I'm already like, my brain, it's already like the emails, the tasks, the things are like totally out of my brain. So I feel that it's faster, but not saying that one is better than the other. It's like just each one needs to also find.
Imagine doctors would ask these 4 questions when people came. Like I was just thinking when you said that, I heard these 4 questions before and I was just thinking like, imagine we would ask everybody this question if they're not feeling so well or they come to you with a problem. It's actually also simple, isn't it? Like it doesn't have to be so hard.
In the end, it's very basic, I would say.
Yeah.
Also, like this practice, like again, the body practice can really help us, I remember I have a big friend that is an amazing facilitator here in Portugal. I would say one of the facilitators of retreats. He's very connected with the shamanic. And there was a moment he was not feeling good in his self, with problems, relations, And then there was a moment he said like, no, I really will go to a psychotherapist. I feel to go. And it was amazing. And he came to one that was also a little bit holistic in the way he can integrate different kinds of things. And then he came to him. Hi, okay, so explain what is your problem. He said what was his problem. And the psychotherapist said, the question was, what is your practice? Practice? Yeah, your regular practice. And then he said, thank you so much. I don't need more session. Thank you. And she was like, yeah. So I'm the facilitator bringing this practice to people. And he was not drinking their own medicine, his own medicine. Mm-hmm. So he started to do his practice again. And yeah, of course, everything changed. It's like, it's very clear if we are not doing the maintenance of our system, even if we are facilitator or not, if we know about this or not, if we are not doing this maintenance, of course, will come the problems. When comes the problems, you are without resources, inner resources, to solve them and deal with them. If you are working with your levels of oxytocin, dopamine, you are dancing, you are doing your morning practice, even if it's yoga or qigong or whatever, the walking or running, the things that that are important for you to start the day, of course, will come a moment that you will be healed. It's basic level 0 of medicine and quantic medicine, because if you are stuck there, your resources going low and low, you don't do nothing for that. In fact, it's worse. Normally, people will be more overwhelmed. Like, my brain is so tired, and I will drink a coffee to continue work. This is like, no, my friend. You need to rest. You need to go to the nature, walk, do your practice, sing for 5 minutes or whatever. But we need that. This is basic. So for me, it was a big inspiration when he brought this story. That was like, the practice and the regular practice are the key.
Yeah, and our body loves rhythm and repetition with our practices. So the body just loves it when we are doing something multiple times, because it also maintains our connections in the brain. I don't know exactly how it works, but when we keep up a practice, our body gets, in a state of peace, because the body is familiar with the practice and it feels peaceful. Yeah.
That's it. And also this coming from the NLP and coaching, psychology in the end, and neuroscience in the end. It's like, how can we, when we are aware of some patterns that we have and then we don't want, we need to deprogram these patterns. But also we can also create new patterns. And this is also a very basic knowledge, but we just need 21 days to create an habit.
Yeah.
We just create 21 days to take out an habit. So this is also something interesting for us. I remember this morning practice that I'm doing now since 10 years. I'm not saying that some days I'm not doing, of course. And sometimes I'm not doing half an hour. I do 3 minutes. It's okay. But major part of times I'm doing since the last 10 years. But in the beginning was with a lot of energy, this kind of New Year's resolutions, let's do it. And then after 3 days, you are just like, okay, no, I'm here in the bed. I don't want to go. I will just go directly to the shower. I'm not doing my practice or whatever. And this knowledge brings something that it's kind of association with things. It's like when you brush your teeth. There was a moment that you start to brush your teeth, and now you cannot go out of your house, maybe, for general of people, if you don't brush your teeth, because then you are out and you're like, oh, I forgot to brush my teeth. It's something that is already in the system. So it's also possible for the practice, for the morning practice. For me, I feel this. I cannot take a shower now if I don't do before my practice. It's like, oh, it's missing something. So I did it from 21 days, very disciplined. No, Virgílio, you can do it. And then after that, it's already there.
That's so beautiful. And I think it can also encourage people to implement small new habits in their lives that make them happy and that are easy. That's what I always say to people. If you're going to do a new habit, make sure it's something that you generally like and love, and that is easy for you to implement. Don't expect yourself to do a 3-hour difficult yoga session every day, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's it. Even if we start with 1 minute, it's already amazing, and then we grow.
Yeah. For myself, I always have to dance to one song every day. One song. That's what I need to do with myself. And it's good. Nice.
I just want to say one thing also. It's your morning practice can be also, you can renew for sometimes. Now, I normally 1 per year, I'm changing it, and it's or even in 6 months, because I need a new energy for something, or I need to open more my heart. So I will find exercise to open my heart, or I need more cardio because I feel that I need to. Whatever it's more physical or spiritual or emotional, you can add, and you can also create your own morning practice, and it's much more meaningful than copy just something or go online and go to YouTube. Just saying, it's also a way that it's a suggestion for people to explore.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that makes it also like very unique and individual and something that truly like fits you. Yeah, I think that's really beautiful. So I also wanted to ask you, because it's something that I have personally observed when being, at your events. And I was also at the big gathering at the New Year's last year. And I see a lot of women at your events. And I'm curious what your view is on how community and gatherings and ecstatic dance can reach more men, because I feel that so many men, and you spoke about the masculine and being like very masculine, very rational, very much in the mind. And that's a quality I often see both in women and men. But then it's a lot of women who like take the step to like go to the event. And I have a lot of friends, actually, female friends, who have partners who would benefit like so much from ecstatic dance, but they never come. They say like, oh, it's your woman thing. And we're like, no, it's not a woman thing. It's really not a woman thing. And then they say, oh, but I can't dance. I'm like too stiff. And how do you feel that these types of like movement practices can also serve men? And how can we help them or guide them or invite them so that they can also experience like this bliss, this gift? Because I'm always like, you guys deserve this maybe even more than we do. Because we easily, as women, we connect, we are like in community, we're in closeness. And I'm always like, oh, if all the men would come, like they would like be so nourished in their heart. And I'm curious how you feel about that as a man in this light.
Yeah, totally. First, totally agree with this. I would come first like with kind of a little story in my family. Like I feel my father is very open, like whatever I feel to do, he was always supportive. My mother as well. But my grandfather, that was very Capricorn and like the king of the family, like kind of, he was always like, okay, Virgílio, but you have an advertising agency. And when in my time of advertising agency, you have an amazing bank information, because he was very, like about money, everything is about money. But then there's a moment I start to be facilitator, and then I start talking about dance, and he was like, okay, but now you will be a dancer, teacher. Is that what you want? Or, for him in his box, it's like, what the fuck you are doing? You are such a genius, and you will do this in your life, like I'm bringing this because it's like what I feel this is a metaphor, like of men and women, or I can say more the masculine energy or the feminine, and major part of man, in my perception, they have more possibilities to have more masculine energy and the opposite. So what I feel with me and other facilitators, we already talk a lot, so much this in the last 14 years, I'm in this debate. It's like that it's always happening here in Portugal, in other places, always there's much more women in all human development environments. I never saw like an event that there's more men than women. I'm like, no, like in the human development area, I don't see, and I think it's really about this. It's like the masculine energy, it's very in the box and can be very also judgmental. And I know, because I have a lot of masculine energy, and I feel like, oh no, I don't go to this. For me, I had a lot of resistance to go. When I did the first biodanza session, I was like laughing inside of myself, like, Virgílio, how you came here? What the fuck are you doing with your life, And then there was my feminine energy inside of me, like, Virgílio, give some permission. Allow yourself to experience the discomfort zone. Why not? Let's do another session and another one. Let's give a try, And I feel this can be a big cliche, but yeah, women or people that have more feminine energy, they are totally more evolved than the others in this area. Like in the area of discovering themselves, to connect with also the body and the heart, like I feel them much more available and open to surrender to the mystery. And people with more masculine energy, it's very difficult for them. They will come with a lot of resistance inside of them, unless they can get something with that. And now I'm coming here because there's a lot of people, then they understand that it's not possible. But there's also a lot of men that comes to ecstatic dance or bio dance, or like, okay, there's women there. No, there's this girl there. I will go, like with this goal, no? And then maybe it's a way, like for people to, okay, let's see. And it's true. There's also a social part of this kind of event, but it's not for sure a hunting place, no? But what I'm saying is, I'm just bringing totally direct, but it's also some people come maybe with this energy and then they surrender totally to the environment and they're like, wow, this was really amazing. So I was coming here for something and now I understand, no, what I need is other thing. I don't know if we will switch this thing, like have an equal room with men and women. I don't know if I'm alive, still alive in that age. But also, you are also for sure, and a lot of people that are listening us, they are aware there's a lot of women circles and men circles. But I would say for 10 women circles, there's one man circle.
Yeah.
And this is with my experience because I'm also part of man circles. And I remember to talk with amazing friends. They were like, brother, you want to go to the Young Gathering? It's a gathering that I'm organizing with other facilitators. And it's just for us. It's not like a public event. And I was like saying, like, brother, you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, one weekend. It's amazing. We share a lot around the fire. It's very beautiful. And then we laugh a lot like kids as young men that like we are, and childs, like laughing and playing, create a lot of music. This is our way. And they, in the beginning, they are always like, yeah, of course. But then there's their mind comes always like, that will be all one weekend just with men. It's the first thing that comes, it's like, this kind of awkward or weird, or I would maybe have another social moment instead, or maybe there's some girls, or there's, or with my girlfriend. It's always about, or something like about football or whatever. But then when they go, they're like, wow, it's like, because you feel such a brotherhood. It's like such a crazy, amazing energy. But again, like it's step by step. I would say it's step by step, but definitely I can surrender to that. Women are much more open to these kind of things.
I just keep hoping with you that maybe in our lifetime we see things shift and change, hopefully. And before we close off, is there any other wisdom or stories that you'd like to share with us, or specifically for people who have never tried ecstatic dance?
No, I feel, again, coming a little bit to the medicine, I feel this is really medicine in this way. Again, just bringing this, maybe can be a little bit abstract where I will bring, but it's like I feel that the real medicine is when we lose the sense of space and time. This is the real medicine. It's when you can reach as well the alpha states in your brain, when you are in deep connection also with yourself. You can sense much more also everything it's around, but you are very clear in a more void space, in a space of emptiness, and bringing also some comparisons for people that never reach this in this kind of things like dance or singing. I can bring something that a lot of people, for sure, I hope, have this experience, that is making love with someone that you really love. And when you are making love with someone that you really love, you are in such a deep connection. It's like, wow, in that moment, you forget totally everything. You are just there with yourself and with the other person. And it's such a present, it's like such a moment. And after you making love, you feel in a state of like, wow, there's such a bliss, there's such a void. And now I can describe all the words that I describe after doing an ecstatic dance or after doing a trance circle of singing full on. And after I'm like, I really don't know where I am now. It's like, and I think for all of us, we really need this. We really need this deep connection. And that's why maybe, again, we are finding in other ways that are not so healthy for us, and using what I was using also, the sex, DS versus love, and not saying that everything is not possible, but of course it's much more like you making love. It's much more meaningful. You can run for the top of the hill and like running, no, I need to run, and your brain's still there thinking about everything. Or you can have a dance or a moment more meaningful in the way you are active your body as well. So this is a comparison that it's a little bit abstract, but I bring also for all of us. It's like when something is really connected and can bring connection to yourself, this is pure healing. Totally. Making love can be an act of cure, of healing in a moment that you are with such a tension in yourself. And after making love, you are like, wow, this tension released. I released this.
Yeah.
Or after dancing or after singing, wow, it's like, so for me, if I would choose what is the ultimate medicine, is the things that you, in a healthy way, you lose the sense of space and time.
Yeah.
That's medicine.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And it also made me think of how you close your circles. You always ask people to share one word. And it's always one word that people share because there is no more words to utter when you forget time and space. The words that come are always of high vibration. It's gratitude, it's bliss, it's love, it's pureness, it's healing. Like people come with these kinds of words, and we all know these words say enough when we share them in circle. So I'd say to all people who are listening who have never done an ecstatic dance, go find one in your neighborhood because this is a global movement. If you Google ecstatic dance, you can find it in nearly every single big city all over the world. Like you'll find it. And if you travel somewhere because it's not in your area, you go to a different country, go look for ecstatic dance. Like that's how I always traveled. When I landed in a new place, the first thing I searched for was ecstatic dance because I know it's going to be the people that are like-minded and like-hearted, like what I've always done. And it's beautiful, especially if you live in various places. When you connect with the ecstatic dance community, you can almost be sure that those are people that you will be able to connect with. So, yeah. Thank you so much for coming on to share your wisdom.
I would add an information. It's like if you go to ecstaticdance.org, you will find it's a website created by Tyler, one of the creators of Ecstatic Dance. And it's like you have all the dances, not all, but I would say 80% are there. So you can find in your city, in your place. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And where can people find you?
I'm in Portugal. No, I'm doing major times in Portugal, sometimes India or Czech Republic, but I feel much more being just in Portugal because I really love this country. But if you go and put ecstatic dance and voice Portugal in Instagram, you can find my work and my schedule and what I'm going to do.
Amazing. And Virgílio also does bigger gatherings if you're interested in that a couple of times a year. Highly recommend. Thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your wisdom, for the work that you do in this world. I feel it's really important. And I feel that you're one of like the people who are lifting the vibration and raising the energy in Portugal. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Want to know more about me? The best way to reach me is via @CycleSeeds on Instagram. And if you heard something today and you think, oh my God, wow, I learned something new, feel free to share the podcast on your social media and tag me. Or leave a review or rating. In this way, you help me reach more people like you. Thank you so much.